My fiancé didn't know I was standing behind her when she told her bridesmaids, if he loses his job, I'll just delay the wedding. No way I'm signing up for struggle. They laughed. I put down the champagne glass and walked away. Today, she found her dress hanging alone in an empty closet, and my phone's blown up with 53 missed calls. When Natalie and I got engaged, I really thought I'd nailed it in life. We'd been together just under 3 years, met at a coworker's game night, of all things. She didn't even want to be there. I only went because I promised I'd bring beer. But something about her sarcasm that night just clicked. The way she rolled her eyes at the Cards Against Humanity cards, called them Reddit in physical form. I was hooked. She worked in HR at a major insurance firm. Organized, driven, polished. I was a software engineer at a mid-sized startup. Laid back, beard, hoodies, the usual. We balanced each other well. She introduced me to the world of adult furniture and exfoliants. I introduced her to Smash Bros. And made her watch Die Hard for the first time. We had chemistry. The proposal was quiet, no photographers hiding in bushes or flash mobs. Just us, a cabin in Vermont, and a ring she helped me pick out months earlier during a just browsing trip. She cried anyway, so did I. It felt right. What didn't feel right, though, was everything that came after. It started with the venue. She wanted this renovated barn outside of town, huge ceilings, fairy lights, farm-to-table everything. I joked about how trendy it was. She didn't laugh. She said, "We're not doing anything halfway." At the time, I chalked it up to nerves. Wedding planning's stressful, right? Then it was the dress. Not just a dress. The dress, $4,700 before alterations. When I hesitated, she said, "It's one day of my life, Josh. My only wedding." I nodded, like a supportive fiancé should. Sold some shares I'd been holding to cover it. Didn't love it, but whatever. She lit up when she wore it. That had to count for something. But the thing that really stuck with me, the first red flag I didn't know was a red flag, was when we were budgeting the honeymoon. I mentioned Bali. She wanted Greece. I said it might be tight with everything else. She blinked at me and said, "Josh, we're not poor." She laughed when she said it, but it didn't feel like a joke. By month 3 of planning, it felt like I'd become the project manager of a corporation called Our Wedding Inc. Natalie was the CEO, CFO, and chief creative officer. I was operations, finance maybe. She delegated, I executed. I started noticing she referred to everything as hers. Her wedding, her big day. The word "we" vanished. I know it sounds petty, but it wears on you. Every decision felt like a test. Flowers? I already picked them out. Cake? Don't worry, I handled it. My input was mostly for show. Our shared Google Sheet ballooned to 15 tabs. One night, I noticed she had a running list of guests ranked by Instagrammability. When I asked what that meant, she said, "You know, who photographs well, for the feed." I thought she was joking. She wasn't. Things shifted around the same time I got passed over for a promotion at work. Wasn't a big deal. Startups are chaotic, and I knew my time was coming. I told her over dinner. She paused mid-bite and said, "But you're still up for bonus, right?" That was it. No, "Are you okay?" No, "Want to talk about it?" Just concern about the cash flow. That one hurt more than I expected. Then came the registry. She wanted Dyson everything. $300 sheets, $600 air fryer. I gently suggested scaling back a bit. Some of our friends weren't exactly rolling in disposable income. She didn't like that. "It's not our fault if people can't afford to celebrate with us," she said, not looking up from her iPad. I just stared at her, wondering where the woman I proposed to went. We weren't fighting exactly, but there was this shift. I felt like a human debit card. The girl who once texted me memes at midnight and made fun of my tech bro beard now treated me like I was lucky to be marrying her. And maybe I was. Natalie was beautiful, ambitious, organized. Her Instagram was curated down to the grid. Her friends called her a main character, and she'd smile like it was a compliment. She kept reminding me how lucky she was to have someone so steady. But there was this way she said it sometimes, like I was a Honda Civic. Reliable, functional, not sexy, just stable. One night, I overheard her on the phone with her sister while brushing her teeth in the bathroom. I was lying in bed, half asleep. She said, "No, I'm not worried about him losing his job, but if he did, honestly, I'd probably delay the wedding. I mean, no way I'm signing up for struggle." Her voice was flat, casual, like she was talking about a hair appointment. Her sister laughed. So did she. I pretended to be asleep when she came to bed. She curled up next to me and kissed my shoulder, and I just lay there, eyes open, thinking about what she'd do if she knew I didn't have that job at all. I didn't say anything the next morning. Natalie was in full bride mode, scrolling through table settings and sending passive-aggressive emails to the florist who wasn't understanding the vision. I made coffee like always, kissed her on the temple, and sat across from her at the kitchen island like nothing happened. She didn't notice anything was off. That kind of said it all. And I guess that's when I made the decision, not out loud, not even to myself. But something clicked, a mental switch flipped, not rage, not sadness, just clarity. I was done trying to prove I was worth marrying. That night we had a mini engagement party, just close friends, some of her bridesmaids, and a few of my coworkers. I wasn't really in the mood to entertain, but I played the part. Smiled for photos, clinked glasses, laughed at the right moments. The house looked perfect. Natalie had coordinated everything, down to the cocktail napkins that said, "Love is patient, but the wedding is in June." I remember thinking that was ironic, because patience was exactly what I was about to start weaponizing. It happened about an hour in. I was in the hallway grabbing another bottle of champagne from the bar cart when I heard voices behind the partially closed guest bedroom door. Natalie's voice, unmistakable, low, amused, a little tipsy. "She thinks we're in the bathroom," one of the bridesmaids whispered. "Probably Jenna. Come on, spill." Then Natalie, laughing, soft but crystal clear. "I mean, let's be real. If Josh ever loses that job of his, we're delaying this wedding. No way I'm signing up for struggle." The girls giggled. "I'm not being mean," she added. I've worked too hard to settle. You know, I'm not doing the whole support him while he figures it out thing. That's for college relationships. This is grown-up time." They laughed again. Someone said, "Preach." And me? I stood there with the champagne bottle still in my hand, frozen. I didn't walk in. I didn't make a scene. I didn't say a word. I just turned around, went to the kitchen, and poured myself a glass. That line, "I'm not doing struggle," it kept replaying in my head. We'd been through a pandemic together, moved apartments, saved, budgeted. I helped pay down her student loans when she got laid off for 3 months, and I never once made her feel like it was a burden. But me? I was a financial contingency, a plan B with a decent Roth IRA. After the last guest left and she passed out on the couch, I sat on the balcony and just stared out at nothing. I wasn't sad. Not really. Just tired. Like my body had been waiting for that confirmation and finally got it. So I opened my laptop and started making notes. Not revenge, just logistics. I made a list of every vendor contract under my name. Which ones had cancellation clauses, which ones required 30-day notice, which deposits were refundable. I cross-checked them against our wedding spreadsheet. She'd given me edit access, thinking I wouldn't touch it. Then I logged into our joint bank account and opened a new one under just my name. Nothing shady. Just a personal checking account at a different bank. Moved over a portion of my savings, enough to cover expenses if I needed to walk out quickly. I also emailed our apartment complex. The lease was up in 5 months. I asked what it would take to remove myself if needed. Then I closed the laptop and went to bed. Over the next few weeks, I played along. Natalie didn't suspect anything. She was too deep in centerpiece comparisons and bridesmaid dress drama. She started making TikToks about the real stress of planning a wedding with a minimalist fiancé. I smiled for videos I didn't want to be in. She started referring to herself as Natalie Caldwell, my last name as if it was already official. But her eyes only lit up when talking about the videographer or the venue's photo lighting. I told her my job was getting more stressful. She didn't ask questions. She only said, "As long as you're still up for the honeymoon, babe." One afternoon, I came home early from work. She was out with her mom. I went into the office and made copies, rental agreements, car titles, savings account statements, anything with my name on it. I backed up all our texts and emails onto a drive, just in case. Then I opened a second document, titled it, "Exit Plan." No one ever thinks they'll need one. But once you hear your future wife say, "I'm not signing up for struggle," while giggling with her friends like you're a stock portfolio, the urge to protect yourself gets real clear, real fast. The weirdest part? I started feeling lighter. Like the moment I stopped chasing her approval, I got my balance back. I started going to the gym again, picked up an old hobby, 3D printing stuff for friends, started making side money on Etsy. It was small, but mine. Meanwhile, she kept escalating, upgraded our wedding package just a little, asked me to cash in my bonus early to make the honeymoon unforgettable. Told her dad I might be getting promoted soon. I hadn't told her that. She just assumed it was happening. Or maybe she was selling the fantasy. It was Jenna who confirmed everything. The same bridesmaid who laughed at that comment. She caught me in the kitchen one night during a double date and said, "You're too good for her, you know that, right?" I must have looked confused because she added, "I mean it, just make sure you protect yourself." And then she walked away. That was all she said. But it was enough. After that conversation with Jenna, things sped up in my head. I'd already started quietly removing myself from the wedding. But now, it was like I was planning a controlled demolition, one brick at a time, making sure when it all came down, I wasn't underneath it. Natalie, meanwhile, had shifted into full production mode. Every day there was something new she just had to upgrade. Linens, catering add-ons, signature cocktails with a custom logo. I'm not joking, she wanted a logo. For our initials. I said, "Is this a wedding or a corporate merger?" She didn't laugh. We had a wedding website. She made it through some service that lets you track RSVPs, link your registry, the whole thing. It looked like a Squarespace ad. I went in one night when she was asleep and updated the admin email to an account only I could access. I also noticed she'd removed a few of my friends from the invite list, quietly, without telling me. When I asked, she said, "Babe, we have to make room for my mom's tennis girls." I said, "They've never met us." She said, "They don't need to. They're classy. They'll make the photos better." Photos again, it was always about the image that week. I went down the checklist. Venue, refundable if canceled 30+ days out. Photographer, deposit held, but contract in my name. Florist, catering, cake, all under my credit card, thank God. Dress, hers, non-refundable, not my problem. I contacted each vendor one by one, said there was a family emergency, asked what my options were for postponement or cancellation. Most of them were incredibly understanding, probably smelled something in the air. I had everything documented. PDFs, confirmation emails, timestamped screenshots, organized by date in a cloud folder. One friend of mine, he's a paralegal, looked it over for me. Clean, he said. Cold, but clean. Around that time, Natalie's behavior started shifting again, but in a different way. She was too affectionate, too over the top, like she was reading from a script labeled "How to Keep a Man Invested." She'd come home with little gifts, suggest romantic weekends, brag to her friends on speakerphone about how thoughtful I was. It didn't feel real. It felt like PR. One night I walked into the bedroom and saw her on her phone. She didn't see me at first. She was texting someone named Derek. The screen said, "Can't wait to finally catch up. You always knew how to spoil a girl." I didn't react, didn't say a word, just backed out quietly and went to the kitchen. Later that night, she said she was going to bed early, claimed she was tired. I nodded, told her I'd be up late working. I wasn't working. I was screen recording our entire shared photo album and backing it up, just in case she tried to wipe things later and spin a different version of events. About a week later, one of her other bridesmaids, Tina, I think, messaged me on Instagram. "Hey, are you okay? You don't seem like yourself lately." I just replied, "Hanging in there. Wedding planning's a lot." She said, "I don't want to overstep, but I think you should talk to Jenna." I already had, but that message confirmed it. Whatever Natalie had said behind my back, it was worse than I'd thought. Enough that two of her own bridesmaids were quietly waving red flags in my direction. At work, I started prepping too. I cleared out personal files from my laptop, told my manager I might be taking a week off soon for mental health. He didn't ask questions. Cool guy, married, probably saw through it. I also rented a short-term place across town, fully furnished, small, quiet, month-to-month lease, move-in date set for 1 week before the wedding. Security deposit paid, key card ready. She had no idea. Then she slipped up. She came home, buzzed from a night out with her girls. Jenna was noticeably absent, and flopped down on the couch next to me. "You know," she said, slurring slightly, "I don't care what people say, you're good stability." "Thanks," I said. She nodded, eyes half shut. "Like, You're not exciting, but you're safe. That's good. People build around safe. Then she passed out. I sat there for a long time, just looking at her. The dress she'd been raving about was hanging in the closet, still in its sealed garment bag. She hadn't even tried it on since the fitting. She said it was bad luck. I was starting to think it was just guilt. The next day, I called the venue. I gave the official word, cancel the booking, keep the deposit. Just don't allow any changes to it unless I approve. The woman on the other end paused. Do you want me to tell her? She asked gently. No, I said. She'll figure it out. I left at 5:37 a.m. on a Thursday. Natalie had a final dress fitting that morning at 10, and I knew she'd be out of the house by 9. I didn't need that kind of exit. I didn't need her dramatic questions or the crocodile tears or the I don't understand routine. I just needed clean air. The night before, I packed what mattered. Laptop, clothes, hard drive with backups, and the few items that were actually mine. Left everything else behind. Let her keep the air fryer and the espresso machine. Let her keep the towels she picked out that I never liked anyway. The only thing I left on the bed was the ring box. Closed. Untouched. I placed it carefully on the pillow she always slept on. Next to it, I left my house key in the gate fob. That was it. No note, no explanation, nothing to argue with. The wedding dress was still hanging in the corner closet, zipped up in its custom bag, untouched since the fitting. Let it watch her now. By 8:15, I was checked into the short-term apartment I'd leased across town. I turned my phone to Do Not Disturb. Poured coffee. Sat in silence. I'd already set my phone to forward key calls, just in case the vendors needed final confirmations. I wasn't planning to ghost the world, just her. By 10, I had 3 missed calls. By 10:15, it jumped to 12. By 10:20, her mom was calling. At 10:30, I texted one person, Jenna. All done, you were right. She didn't reply, not yet. By 11, the call log was up 27. Natalie, her mom, her bridesmaid Tina, a blocked number. She hadn't processed it yet, was still in the confusion stage. Still thinking maybe this was a misunderstanding, she was about to hit panic. At 11:40, I got a voicemail from Natalie. First one of the day. Josh, hey, can you please call me? I don't know what's going on, but I'm freaking out. Please. This isn't funny. If this is about the DJ thing, I'll change it. Just call me. The DJ thing? Jesus. She still thought this was fixable. By 1 p.m., Jenna texted back. She's spiraling. She screamed at the boutique people and her mom, said you're just overreacting to stress, told everyone you're having a breakdown. Sure I am. I screenshotted the message, added it to the folder. By 3:30 p.m., the vendors were canceling themselves. The cake decorator emailed me asking if she should donate the final product to a shelter. The photographer, who had gotten the same family emergency story from me a week earlier, sent a single line, understood, wishing you peace. The venue refunded 60% of the deposit, said the remaining balance could be used for a future event under my name. I smiled at that. Maybe I'd throw a party one day, just me and a pizza. At 6 p.m., the calls had slowed. Texts kept coming though. Natalie switched from panic to rage. How could you do this to me? Do you know how bad this makes me look? After everything I put into this wedding? You're just proving everyone right. You were never strong enough for real life. You should be grateful I was marrying you. That last one made me pause. Grateful. That word. I think that's the moment she truly lost me, if I hadn't already gone. By the weekend, it had made the rounds. Mutual friends were reaching out, some to check on me, others to play neutral. A few of the guys I knew from her social circle messaged me like they were jockeying for position. Sorry it didn't work out, bro. If you ever want to grab a drink and talk, hit me up. Crazy story, man. Hope you're holding up. Just so you know, Natalie's spinning this hard, says you got cold feet. Let her spin. She can say what she wants. That I was scared, that I ghosted her, that I'm unstable. But the receipts exist, and Jenna had them too. Then Jenna did something I didn't expect. She sent a screen recording of a group chat, one Natalie forgot to remove her from. Natalie was melting down. He's gone. His closet is empty. He left the ring like I'm some kind of rebound joke. What am I supposed to tell people? My mom is losing it. She already paid for the extra catering I added. I should have just gone with Derek. At least he has a boat. There it was. Derek. The same guy from her texts. Apparently, he wasn't exactly rushing to replace me. Monday morning, I got a voicemail from Natalie's mom. I didn't listen to the whole thing, but the first 30 seconds were a mix of restrained fury and deep embarrassment. She wanted to discuss next steps and mitigate reputational damage. I archived it. The last message I got that week was from Jenna. She's done. Dress still in the closet. Cake went to a shelter. Her parents are talking about selling the house to pay off what's left. I asked if she needed anything. Jenna just said, no, but thank you. Honestly, we were all waiting for someone to finally walk away from her. It's been 11 days. 11 days since I left my key on the pillow, closed the closet door behind me, and walked out of a relationship that, in hindsight, had been over for months. The calls finally stopped on day 6. The texts, they trickled out slower. Guilt bombs mostly. I just want to talk. You could have handled this like an adult. I'm still your fiancé. You owe me that. We had plans, Josh. Yeah, we did. And you planned to change them the second I didn't meet your ROI. My new apartment is small, quiet, and mine. I work from home most days now. Thankfully, my job's flexible like that. I told my boss everything in a general way, just needed time. He said, take it. Sounds like you dodged a bullet. He wasn't wrong. Natalie's social media has gone dark. The perfectly curated Road to the Altar Instagram posts, deleted. Her highlight reel, scrubbed. A few bridesmaids quietly unfollowed her. Others just muted. One, Tina, posted a photo with Jenna and captioned it, "Some people know when to walk away." No tags, but everyone knew. Jenna and I met for coffee last week. Nothing romantic, just a thank you. She showed me more texts, screenshots. One where Natalie said she was just using this wedding to level up. Another where she complained about my middle-class mindset, said I was too content for someone with ambition. I asked Jenna, why didn't you say something sooner? She looked genuinely sad. Because you loved her, and I didn't think you'd believe me. She wasn't wrong. Then came the twist I didn't see coming. Natalie's dad reached out. He left a voicemail, not angry, not even defensive, just tired. I don't know what my daughter said or did, and frankly, I don't want to. But I want you to know if half of what I'm hearing is true, you did the right thing. I'm sorry. I listened to it twice. That man once told me over beers, "Welcome to the family." I think we both misunderstood what that family actually was. The wedding bills are stacking up on Natalie's side now. Turns out, in her panic to impress everyone, she co-signed things she couldn't afford solo. And with no wedding, no groom, and no job promotion on the horizon, she's sitting in the aftermath of a party that never happened. Jenna says she tried to blame me for financial abandonment. But all the contracts were clear, and I kept the receipts. I haven't spoken to Natalie directly. There's nothing to say. If she really wanted closure, she would have started with honesty 6 months ago, not jokes about struggle and threats to delay the wedding like it was a TikTok trend. Sometimes silence is the closure. The last update I'll share is this. Yesterday, I got a message on Etsy. One of my clients, the side hustle I'd picked back up during all the chaos, left a note on a custom 3D print order. "Hi, I don't know if you remember me. I used to be in your coding class like 2 years ago. Your stuff looks amazing. Hope you're doing well." It was from someone I'd met once, briefly. She remembered me, not because of my job or my salary or how steady I was, but because we'd talked about nerd stuff and laughed about a bug in her project, and I stayed after class to help her figure it out. That's the kind of connection I want next time. Not someone who sees me as a safety net, but someone who sees me. I didn't get revenge, not the flashy kind, no viral takedown, no confrontation, no legal battle. I just walked away and let the consequences be hers to hold. And from the sound of it, they're getting heavy. The dress is still hanging in the closet. No refunds.